I recall around 6:45 in the morning that after an alarm clock that's cube shaped I own that's in my room went off again, like it has been for the past a month or so, and I have to push a button in order to stop the alarm. I figured this time around I would remove the batteries to prevent it from going off again around 6:45 p.m. Like it tends to do, because that time tends to be 6 in the morning for it. Around the time around 6:45 in the morning was when that alarm would go off, since for it that time was 6 in the morning. And so I removed the batteries because I typically don't really need an alarm clock, and even if I do, I use a third-party website on my laptop for that, called Online Computer Alarm, something to that effect. These are the leftovers of that gourmet cheese platter that I got at Robbie's the other day. These crackers seem a little soft. But otherwise seem fine. Maybe they're a bit stale and soggy. From being next to meat for a day or two. Either way, the crackers aren't as crunchy as they were when I first got them. Then around 11:30 in the morning, I think I got up for today somewhere between half an hour to an hour earlier. And Mom made me some sunny side up eggs, with which I recall having at least a glass of milk like this one. I believe I also had some cheese sticks with it. I recall working on the new Joker styrofoam drawing primarily after the point I had those eggs as a sort of lunch. I both drew in details of the front of the top suit of the Joker, and colored them in. Although I didn't complete the front of the top suit of the Joker, I got the idea to put a playing card in the left suit pocket of the Joker. I believe I told Dad about this during a phone call conversation today at some point. I think sometime between 11 in the morning and the early afternoon. I was initially just going to do a Joker playing card, but then Dad gave me the idea of doing the 8 of Spades, since that's apparently associated with death. And then he gave me the idea of doing both of those playing cards. The Joker and the 8 of Spades. And so that's what I decided to do. I've drawn the outlines of those 2 cards, but I haven't actually put in the details of those playing cards yet. And I've completed the pocket on that side, but not on the right side. If I recall correctly, it was roughly 5:30 p.m. when Mom and I went out for the Willow Inn, but first we had to make a stop to get me a new phone charger, since my old one had become noticeably frayed. It was still safe to use. It still charges my phone, but it's a bit of a concern because that it's starting to fray. If it frays enough, it could eventually become a safety risk, either at risk of catching on fire or electrocuting me. So we bought this USB-C and cable. I think the box said it was 4 feet long. Since I believe that's the kind of end you need for an Android device. The other type of end for these phone chargers are for Apple smartphones. We then set off for the Willow Inn, getting there around 6 p.m. And then around 7 p.m., Mom brought out some party balloons in celebration of the karaoke host's birthday. Though, of course, it was still a karaoke night at the Willow Inn. I sang a total of 3 songs. First, I tried something new, singing Oobla-dee, Oobla-da by the Beatles. And then I sang Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. And then I sang, lastly, Yellow by Coldplay, which is one of my staples. It's one song I've sung over and over again at karaoke nights at the local places that hold them. In between these turns at singing karaoke, I had my first serious night of work on the new B lucha libre female wrestler. Although work was relatively slow, because I needed to be careful in order to minimize mistakes while working on the face mask of the whole costume. Since I wanted it to look like a real bee, for which, as my reference images, I actually got the best images of a real bee off of a short 3D animation that was uploaded to YouTube 11 years or so. Something like that. As such, I had to make careful decisions about what color Sharpies to use, what color markers to use, since it's a whole lot more nuanced than a bee's face being a mixture of yellow and black. As it turns out, it's mostly a combination of black, brown, sort of light peach, representing fuzz at the top of the head, and little bits of fuzz throughout the whole face, which I'm going to have to depict later. Oh, that's pretty much as far as I have gotten in terms of that new Starfoam drawing project. I believe around 7 p.m. They brought out and cut up the vanilla birthday cake for the birthday party, and then they played some birthday themed songs, or the karaoke host did. I believe it was either played as normal for the most part, i.e. nobody sang them, basically just played through the radio or speaker of sorts, CD. And I think the karaoke host sang one of them, although I'm not entirely sure. And then I recall more towards 10 to 11, though closer to 11 p.m. They brought out an ultimate chocolate chip cookie cake. And for both cakes, I ultimately had just one slice. But the difference between the two cakes is that the vanilla birthday cake was pretty much devoured as soon as it came out, while the cookie cake, it was pretty much barely eaten. And Mom, of course, got her friend, the karaoke host, a sort of gift that was in a little bag, although I didn't get a chance to see what exactly she got the karaoke host. It was around 4:45 p.m. When I had a poke salad at home. Since I didn't plan on ordering any food at the Willow Inn tonight, instead kind of just preferring to just focus on working on that side styrofoam drawing project. At the Willow Inn, I had a glass of Hazy Jane IPA, then a glass of water, then another glass of Hazy Jane, although that was only because, apparently according to Mom, they didn't have the Genesee Oktoberfest IPA that I wanted for the second beer that I first wanted. And then Mom got me another glass of water to go with it. And I finished all of these drinks. By essentially slowly sipping at them.